Now that we've embedded our Power BI reports into Project Online, we want to make sure that the end users have the latest data set. To do that, we're going to return to our Power BI service. We'll expand out the Power BI workspace and scroll down until we find the data set called embedding. That's where we put our report. And on that section, we'll select Schedule Refresh. Here it's going to bring us over into the settings for this particular report and data set. We need to set up a gateway connection since this report contains a local gateway. Now, I've tried to install this a couple of times, and you might see something like this called a personal gateway that's been removed. If you do have this, just select Delete, and that will remove the gateway that was previously tried to be installed, and will get you back to the way you can install it again. I'm going to press Install Now. It's going to download that gateway to my machine, and on the bottom here, I'll select the little drop down and select Open when done. Here I'll be prompted with where the installation is going to be installed, and I need to accept the terms. If you want to read them, you can click on them. I don't need to do that at this point, so I'll close Word. And I'll select the checkbox to accept and press Install. You now need to enter in the email address that will be used for that particular gateway. I'm going to type in Sally Smith's email and press Sign In. You may be prompted with the Azure authentication. Again, I'll select Sally Smith. Now you'll be prompted with the gateway status. Here I can see that my gateway is online and ready to use. You can also look at service settings in case you need to restart your gateway. This is a great place for you to be able to reset it. And of course, where the file is being stored on my local machine. I don't need to change any of these settings, but it's a great way to be able to review these if you need to. I'm going to press Close. So my gateway is now up and ready to go. However, I need to make sure that I refresh this page and enable it. So to do that, I'm going to go to the Gateway Connections, and I'll press the little gateway icon and press Apply. And now my gateway has been enabled. I can collapse that gateway connection and select now Schedule Refresh. If this is still grayed out, you may need to edit your credentials. To do that, we'll go up to the Data Credentials and select Edit Credentials. Since I already have put in this gateway a couple of times, I'm pre-prompted with the authentication methods. You definitely want to make sure that yours are set to OAuth 2 and organization, and then press Sign In. Of course, you might be re-prompted again with another account. That's now set up, and I'll repeat that for the local Excel file as well. This one will be Windows without impersonation and organizational as well. And I'll sign into that. Once those two have been completed, you can now set up your schedule refresh. So that is currently set to being on. I can select either daily or weekly, and even the time and the time zone that you may be interested in. If you want to add a specific time, you can go into the time settings, and I'll set up mine for being 12 o'clock, and I'll make it midnight so that it doesn't disturb anybody else's processing. Once you've completed that, I can collapse these. Again, I'm going to check one other thing here on the schedule refresh to make sure that I have Sally's email in that particular location. Should this refresh fail, it will notify Sally that those settings are there. Once completed, you can press Apply, and your enabling of this data set refresh is now scheduled.